Greetings once again, friends. My name is Peter, and this is Retro Unscripted. It's the beginning of another month, which means it's time for another update video. I generally tend to take the ideas for these videos from Eric or Goemon047, who does update videos once a month and kind of tells people what's been going on and what will be going on. And I think that that's a fantastic idea, as it gives me an opportunity to touch base with you in a less episode-y way, as it were. Just kind of talking back and forth, showing some games that I picked up and letting you know what to expect in the coming weeks. First of all, let's look back to April. We closed April on the channel with 125 subscribers to the channel, which is phenomenal. I know that a few subscribers have dropped off as of late, which is understandable. With the amount of retro-based content out there and with the fact that I kind of ramble in front of a webcam for 10 minutes plus, I'm sure the channel does kind of wear out its welcome before long. But for those of you who have subscribed or had subscribed in the past, I really do appreciate that. It certainly means a lot. Those of you who know this project from its very start, the idea of sitting in front of a camera with no editing skill, no professional lighting, no wearable microphone, anything like that. It's just a fun project for me to do, and I really do enjoy filming these and showing these to you. And the fact that people actually like these videos and comment on them and subscribe to the channel is certainly a compliment. I won't get to the levels of popularity that some of my colleagues do, and that's fine. That's not really what I'm shooting for. As long as I'm having fun, and as long as I have a body of work to fall back on to say, yeah, I was on YouTube for a while, I'm pretty content with that. So 125 subscribers is where we're at. We did clear the 2,000 total views mark, which is also really neat. Again, the channel's only been active for, it'll be 4 months this month. So that's really not a bad body of work, especially when you consider that I was balancing a pretty difficult semester of college classes to go with it. And I've been battling some health issues here and there, chronic cough, and then I had some near flu type stuff earlier in the winter. So I've been rolling right along, and I've been making 1 to maybe 2 videos a week, and it's been fun, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it as much as I enjoy making them. April was also my birthday. I turned 42. I made a big deal of it, like I do every year. And I did pick up some things. Some of them were gifts. Some of them were gifts that I gave to myself. And I wanted to show those to you on camera. Let me go over the Genesis stuff first. And there's no rhyme or reason to these. These are just the order that I put them in. This here is Tough Man Contest for the Genesis. I thought I remembered playing this more than I did when I actually put it in the Genesis and started playing, because I got my ass kicked. There were no manuals or instructions that came with this, so I'm kind of learning the controls by the seat of my pants, and it's not working out so well. What's notable about this game is that Visual Concepts, you know, the people who developed the NFL 2K, NBA 2K series for Sega, and then wound up doing the same thing or the same kind of games for Take-Two. They actually worked with EA for a while, and this is one of their games, so that's why it's pretty significant. That and the fact that it's Butterbean in a video game, which I think is just hilarious. Some of you may be too young to remember Butterbean or don't care, but I thought that it was pretty neat that he was in the game. So that's the first one. Second one is Super High Impact for the Genesis. Now, I have the Super Nintendo version of this as well. This is the godfather, if you will, to NFL Blitz. It's a arcade-style football game. It doesn't track stats, and it certainly doesn't have any real players. And it's also notable that Blitz has more of a top-down perspective, whereas this is a side-scrolling perspective. But still, arcade at its roots. You can have fights between two teams. There's a whole bunch of trash talking that goes on, and it's very easy to pick up and play. The home version is a little bare bones for my taste, but I had the Super Nintendo version and wanted to get the Genesis one as well. So that's Super High Impact. This is from 1992. I also have the loudest chair in the world, by the way, so the creaking, I'm sorry about that. Next is Eternal Champions, which is this guy right here. I was hoping to find the Sega CD version, but this one will hold me over for now. The reason that I got this, aside from the fact that I only wound up paying $2 for it, was I found a video that is full of strategies for it on Retro Realities YouTube channel, which I've shared a lot of videos from in the past. So I thought it was pretty neat to actually try and put some of the strategies to good use. Of course, it's better to use a 6-button controller than a 3-button controller, so I have to hook that up. But this was $2, and it was kind of a cool find. I'm still hoping to grab the Sega CD version, which has more content in it, and I'm still holding the door open to that possibility. The next one I grabbed only because it's a Batman game. This is Revenge of the Joker here from Sunsoft. I actually wound up getting this for $10, not $15, so Game Depot and Holyoke cut me a pretty good deal on this. I haven't played much of it, so I really don't have any big opinions on it, but people have said that this was an interesting game to have in my collection, so when I saw it, I grabbed it. And then last but not least on the Genesis side, this is Desert Demolition with Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. Really neat animation, and again, a great representation of the Looney Tunes cartoons. Certainly a different game than Death Valley Rally that Sunsoft came out with for the Super Nintendo, but still fun to play nonetheless, and of course, because it's Looney Tunes, I'm a big fan. So those are the Genesis games. I also got 3 Super Nintendo games as well. The first one no one's going to care about but me. This is NHL 95 right here. Yes, the Stanley Cup playoffs are going on right now, so that's part of the reason. The other reason is because I had NHL PA Hockey 93, NHL 94, and NHL 96, but I didn't have this one. So this kind of completes a mini-series, if you will. There is NHL 97 and also an NHL 98 out there, and I'll grab those if I find them, but this was kind of in the middle, and I didn't have it, so I wanted to fill that hole. The next one, speaking of finishing series, this is Super Bases Loaded 2 right here by Jalico. I had the first and the third. I have those in my collection already, but I didn't have this one. So I got this. This was a birthday present. This is a heavy cartridge, by the way. If you pick this up and hold it versus NHL 95, for example, it feels a bit heavier. I'm thinking it's because of the battery. But the reason that it's significant is because of the fielding perspective. When you hit the ball, sometimes the camera would zoom out to like an over-the-field perspective where you can play better defense. But with this, it uses the Super Nintendo's Mode 7 capabilities to show kind of like a ground-level, field-level perspective. And it's kind of interesting. It doesn't work well all the time, but still it's pretty neat to play. The reason that this game sticks out to me is because I bought this at the same time that I bought ActRaiser 2, and I remember playing this a lot more than ActRaiser because ActRaiser 2 just wasn't the same as the original game. So that's Super Bases Loaded 2. And then last but not least, you saw me hold this up a little bit, but I'll make it clearer. This is Super Pinball Behind the Mask. This was published by American Technos, actually. That's right. It's the Double Dragon people. And this game has 3 different pinball tables on it. Of course, if you know me, you know that I'm a big fan of pinball, so this made sense to get. If I remember correctly, and I'll have to do my research, I believe that the same company that made this pinball game also made one other pinball game that I'm going to show you a bit later in this pickup video. So I'm not going to go too in-depth here. I will say, however, that the pinball tables on this cartridge are a little bit lackluster. They still play just fine, but they're not overly exciting. The themes are kind of neat. The one that I've played, which is a pirate one, is pretty cool. So those are the Super Nintendo editions. Let's do... yeah, we'll do regular Nintendo now. NES, or NES as some people call it. The first one, and I know people have picked on me a little bit for wanting to have this. This is the Adventures of Bayou Billy here. I don't have a zapper, but it's cool that you can still play it with just the regular controller, and actually it works pretty well. Now, Goemon047 is going to be doing a Let's Play of this for his channel and also for Retroware. And I'm looking forward to seeing that. As a matter of fact, in his update video, he mentioned that he's compiled over an hour of footage for his feature on this. Um, Aside from the fact that the music in this game is great, and it really is, I also like the fact that there are different things to do. It doesn't get boring. You go from a side-scrolling beat 'em up, kind of like a Double Dragon, to a shooting game, kind of like an Operation Wolf, to a driving game, which is reminds me of Mach Rider for some reason. So it always changes things up. The problem with this game, of course, is that it is very difficult. If you haven't played the game before and you wind up getting it to add to your collection, I wholeheartedly recommend doing the practices before you actually start playing the real game, because when you complete the practice modes, you get bonuses that you can start your new game with, which will help you tremendously, especially the beat 'em up part. Getting an extra life fill is a tremendous boost, and it's worth the effort, not only to figure out the controls and to start working out some strategies for beating up the opponents, but also just to get that little meatball is a big plus. So The Adventures of Bayou Billy, I'm glad I have it. I'm actually enjoying it, even though it's kicking my ass. So those people who kind of picked on me and said that whoever got this for me as a gift was actually ill-intended, I actually love this. This is fantastic. Next up, speaking of games that people tend to pan, this is Bad Dudes right here, or Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja, if you want to be specific. This is from Data East. Are you a bad enough dude to rescue the president? I am nowhere near bad enough to rescue the president yet. But my history with this game is I actually had the Commodore 64 version, which I enjoyed a lot. I played that first, and then I played the game in arcades, and now I get to play the NES version at will. So I thought that was kind of neat. I wanted to add this to my collection for a while, but I really couldn't find it anywhere, and then the couple of times I did find it, it was overpriced. But I got a good deal on this version. Next up, I talked about Super High Impact earlier. Here's Arch Rivals, which is the same kind of thing. It's an arcade sports game, whereas Super High Impact is the godfather to NFL Blitz. Arch Rivals is the godfather to NBA Jam. 2-on-2 basketball. You can beat up opponents, and instead of just stealing the ball and getting called for fouls, you can just punch them in the face and steal the basketball, which is kind of fun. Rare actually made this version of it for Acclaim. So another Rare Coin-It arcade conversion. Big surprise on the NES, I know, but still a lot of fun, and I did wind up getting this for $2, not the $4 that you see here. And then last but not least, you actually saw this in episode 25. This is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out right here. I know it's written all over, but I got a really good deal on it, and I didn't have a Punch-Out game in my library yet, so it's really nice to have it. Truth be told, I am not very good at this game either. Once I get to Soda Popinski, I'm pretty much done. I need to figure out some of the strategies to get a bit further, or I can just put in the code to get to Tyson and get my ass kicked in less than 90 seconds if I wanted to. But it's really nice to have this in my collection. If you're a fan of the TV show called The Goldbergs, which is a fantastic show about 80s culture, they actually had Punch-Out, the arcade game, as the subject of one of its most recent episodes called Age of Darkness, and I highly recommend not only the show, but also that episode. You should be able to catch it on demand if you have cable, and I really do recommend it. So that's Punch-Out. Now let's talk PlayStation. And for the original PlayStation, I've gone a bit overboard of late. I still haven't played this game yet. This is Descent Maximum right here. This is exclusive for the PlayStation game console. I guess this is a PC game, and I never played that either. It looks pretty cool. It also looks like the controls, which were adapted from mouse and keyboard to controller, seem to be a bit complex. Again, I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I got this for $5 and it's complete, so I figured what the heck. This is, and I know that the price tag covers it up, this is Forsaken right here. Lazy Game Reviews, who just published the 4th episode of his Thrifts series. Lazy Game Reviews, by the way, is a fantastic channel to follow. Not only does he do content for Retroware, but he also has his own YouTube channel, and such a cool person and so knowledgeable. He's very PC literate and into PC games of the 80s and 90s and even today, but he does console stuff too. And he actually got his own copy of this while he was on a thrift run, so we have that in common. And I'll try and link his channel below. But if for whatever reason I forget, check out his stuff on Retroware. Class person, very passionate, and super, super smart. So that's kind of his fault. I'll blame him for that. RC Revenge, which is this right here. For whatever reason, I got this confused with Revolt, which are RC kind of racing games that harken back to RC Pro-Am as far as influences. Excuse me. I actually have RC Revenge Pro for the PS2. I got that loose. So I figured I would get the original to see what it's like, and I haven't had a chance to play it yet because school has been crazy. So I hope to give it a chance soon. This came out in 2000, so hopefully it's pretty good. We will see. Alright, put those there. Okay, yet another hockey game, because I am just a hockey nut. This is NHL Blades of Steel 2000 for the PlayStation from Konami. Significant stuff about this game. Randy Hahn, who does the play-by-play for the San Jose Sharks, he does the play-by-play for this game as well. I like some of the stuff that Konami did as far as stat tracking and showing statistical overlays during games. However, the game itself is average at best. Even Fox NHL Championship 2000 is better than this. But still, I got it for a good price. Actually, I didn't get it for a price at all. I actually found this on Amazon. It was part of a birthday present. So, thank you, family, for this. Okay, which one of these last two do I want to show you first? Okay. I'm excited about this one. I had been looking for this for a long time, and now I can say that I have it in my library. This is Power Rangers Zeo Full Tilt Battle Pinball. This is another pinball game, big surprise. This is also from the same development team that also did Super Pinball Behind the Mask for the Super Nintendo. This game is interesting in that there are different stages that take place on different continents, and then there are different tables for each stage. Some of the tables are fully laid out like a regular pinball table would be. Other tables are like boss tables where you have to take on a boss in order to move on to the next stage, so you have to hit it a certain number of times. In this game, there are multi-ball modes and extra balls, and there are mystery holes that will award you certain bonuses completely at random. It's not quite as detailed as you'd like to see. It might look better in HD if it was HD, but on my GX TV, it's a little lacking as far as detail. But the cool thing about the game, the coolest thing by far, is the music is great. From the Power Rangers Zeo theme, which is all guitar-driven, to more guitar rock for the New York stage, and then there's this weird hillbilly kind of track in the later stage, and then there's some Asian influence tracks in the Asian stages. So it's the music's great, the game handles well, and there are different modes of play too. You can play through the story to beat the game, or you can do scoring challenges. There's a lot here, and I'll show you the inside. That's the disc art, by the way, which shows, I believe that's the Megazord there, if I remember right. So, Power Rangers Zeo Battle Pinball. I was thinking about doing a Pete Plays on this, but I focus more on the game than I would if I was giving you running commentary, so I decided not to do it. But I did take some screenshots that I posted on Instagram, and if you follow me there, you saw some of the shots that I posted. So the coup de grace, the game that surprised me, is the one that I am enjoying the most. This here is Big Ol' Bass 2, which is really Fisherman's Bait 3. Fisherman's Bait was an arcade game from Konami that got ported to the PlayStation and then spawned a sequel called Big Ol' Bass. And then this is the sequel to Big Ol' Bass, so it's one big causal chain. If you play the game just standard, like just going fishing, the regular tournament modes or what have you, the game is ordinary. It's an arcade-based game where you have to rotate the right analog stick in order to reel in a fish, and then you have to use the trigger buttons to alter the amount of tension. But it's still very easy to learn. It's kind of like Sega Bass Fishing in that it's a very easy to learn but difficult to master fishing game. But where this game makes its money is in the World Monster Fishing Tournament. That is where this game goes completely off the rails, is completely insane, and makes it totally worth playing. And I will do a Pete Plays on this in the future. I don't know if you can see. I'm going to try and move it close. This picture right here, that's actually a T-Rex that is being caught underwater. Yes, you can actually reel in a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Not kidding. So it's completely off the rails, and it makes the game worth playing for that mode alone. And I will do a Pete Plays on that in the future. So this game, if you can find it, and it should be relatively cheap, grab it. I'm not kidding. It's worth the ride. Grab it. And then I did get a couple of PS2 games as well, because, you know, more than 600 PS2 games just isn't enough. One I got, and I haven't played it yet, is the Mark of Cree, I believe, or Cry. I always get the pronunciation confused. This doesn't have the manual with it, so I'm going to have to kind of learn this through trial and error. Here's what the disc looks like, but there's no manual in there. But people talk about it and say it's great, so I figured why not for a couple of dollars. And then, because I'm a Dynasty Warriors freak and I didn't have this yet, this is Samurai Warriors right here. Samurai Warriors is Dynasty Warriors, but with samurai in it. If you play Devil Kings or Sengoku Basara, it's the same kind of cast of characters. Nobunaga Oda is the bad guy here, like he was in those games. So, but it plays like Dynasty Warriors, and that's all that matters to me. Slaying hundreds upon hundreds of soldiers just mindlessly is just fun. I don't know why. Maybe I'm sick in the head. Who knows? But that's Samurai Warriors. But by the way, did you know EA actually helped publish this or co-publish this? I had no idea. I didn't know. So those are all the birthday gifts, between things that my family got for me and things that I got for myself through trade-ins. So thank you to those of you who gave me birthday wishes and presents, and it was really great. It was kind of, my birthday was kind of under the radar a bit because I had to go to school that day, so I spent the day kind of relaxing and getting ready for the end of the semester. And that kind of takes me into what to expect for the month of May, for this month. The first half of the month is going to be a bit on the slow side because I do have a couple of finals coming up, and I have a bunch of projects and paperwork that are due just before the end of the semester that I've been kind of buried under. So I'll just be shooting an episode a week as usual for the first couple of weeks of the month. After that, I'm hoping to get back to 2 episodes a week with a regular episode and also a Pete Plays episode. I'm also in the process of counting down the days to the International Classic Video Game Tournament up at the American Classic Arcade Museum. I had to think about it for a minute. Up at Fun Spot. I've talked about this repeatedly. I know that I have, but I'm very excited about this. I don't know how ready I am mentally for this yet. I went from being really excited about it and there being a lot of days to now we're already in the month of May and I leave in 26 days. So once I get done with the semester and after my last final, which is May 13th, I'll have just over 2 weeks to get out of college mode and into competition mode and start practicing. So I'm excited for that. I'm hoping to do a video or 2 more, kind of like I did at the Galaga video, where I'm playing older arcade games and kind of limbering up for competition. I know that it's tough to see them with the webcam, and I try and position it as close to the TV set as possible. But again, this is a CRT that's going on 17 years old. The tube is a little tired, so some of the detail doesn't come through as sharply as it could. And I'm also not directly recording from the source, so you're kind of getting to see things second and third hand. I apologize for that, but I go with the technology that I have at my disposal, so that's what we got to work with. So there will be 2 episodes, or there'll be an episode coming next week, which is which is May 6th, I believe. And then there'll be an episode on the 13th, or that same week. Then there will be 2 episodes the week after, and then after that, there will be 1 episode just before I leave for New Hampshire. After that, I don't know whether I'm going to do a reaction video or an update video based on what happens up north. I'm really kind of taking that as it comes. The last thing, and I haven't made this official yet, only because I haven't really been given the go-ahead yet, but I'm going to kind of leave a hint at this point. I'm also undertaking another project that I'm very excited about. I have joined the Retroware team as a writer. I'm actually going to be generating or writing articles every other week. I believe it's going to be every other Friday. That's going to be pretty much in the same format. I'll be talking about things that were and my personal experiences with them. So it's kind of like these videos that I've done, but in written format. And it's going to be nice to getting back into the writing arena. I do want to thank Mike Anthony and Jeremy Pierce from the Retroware staff for sending the hand and giving me the opportunity to write. I didn't think I'd get back into writing, honestly, but when I found out that it gave me an opportunity to be part of the Retroware team, I could not say no. If you know me, you know how much respect and how much love I have for those guys and for everything that they do. If it wasn't for that site, I don't know whether I would have been big into this retro revival that I'm part of. So it's really cool to be part of that team. I'll give you more details when I get them as far as when my stuff is going to start to appear. We're still kind of working out the schedule and the submissions and stuff. But once we do, I'll certainly let you know because I'm excited to be part of that team. It's going to be great. Aside from that, I think that's just about everything. And then once I get back from New Hampshire, then things will hopefully return somewhat to normal. And I'll be doing videos every week and hopefully Pete Plays episodes every week from then on. So that's it from here. Thank you very much for sitting through almost a half hour of me babbling and showing off games. I really do appreciate that. I appreciate all of the subscriptions, the views, the likes, the cross-promotion, those of you who follow me on Twitter and talk about my stuff, all of you guys. Again, it means a ton, and I can't thank you guys enough. So until next week, which would be, I think the 6th, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you, all of you, on the next episode of Retro Unscripted. Until then, take care.